drown in the wax. Hey, welcome, Gary Fortunon. We're going to make some diamond crosses. Some people call them Celtic crosses, but I think Celtic crosses are a little different. They got like a ring around the center of the cross. So there's different names for this, but there's the forged cross for blacksmithing, and I'm making some key rings. That I'm starting with 3/8, which whatever millimeter that is. I'll try to think to put it up here. But I'm taking 3/8 just square stock. I cut it down into these little 2-inch, 1.75 to 2 inch, depending on how big you want to make them. And you can always make it 2 inches and cut them afterwards after you open them all up. Because after you open them up, it's going to be, bigger than that. Because you're folding it open and folding it open after you cut it. It's kind of different. What you're going to do, and I'll show you a little bit of the process here. You're going to cut it down. I don't know if that's showing up or not. You're going to cut it down through there one way. Now, say if this is 2 inches, I cut this 1.25 inches, and then you turn it 90 degrees, and you cut it down about 7/8 of an inch. And if you can see, they're overlapped just a little bit. And what happens is that opens up and makes the diamond in the center when you open it. I got a little off on this one. It's going a little thinner there, but we're going to hammer them out anyway, so it doesn't have to be precise. If I was doing a whole bunch of these, I would make a little jig to set them up. What I'm doing is I'm using my Harbor Freight bandsaw that I've had now 7-8 years. I don't know, maybe longer than that. And what I did is I took a piece of, I think it's 2x8, and I just made a L shape, and I made it to where it'll fit up on here, and I just used the bandsaw and just cut into the wood. And then I blocked this in, and then I put some screws down through here. Put 4 screws in there. And I was using just the wood for the longest time, but eventually the wood's soft, and moving this stuff on there, it starts eating the wood away until you end up with divots, and it's hard. So I put this little sheet of, I got this scrap sheet of aluminum, and I just drilled it on there. It's not flush enough for what I like, but it'll work with these. I just put that on tonight. So I'll show you what I'll do is basically I put measurements on here. I mean, you could lay it all out on these, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just getting it close. So you get on here, you center it up, and it kind of hard for me because this thing cuts real slow. This is a finer tooth. I need a little coarser tooth, cut a little faster, but it's the only thing I've got. So after a while, just to make it easier to push, I use this block of wood. But what I did is I measured from here to the edge of it, and that was about 1.25 inches, which is about right. And then this is about 7/8 of an inch. I made a mark here, and so I'll go in and I'll cut it in half this way, and then I'll flip it over 90 degrees, and I'll cut it in this way to that mark, and it'll make this. And I'll show you a little bit of that right now. All right, so I'm going to use this hot cut here. Let me put it this way so you can see it open up. So all you have to do is get this pried open a little bit. So I said you can do it with pretty much anything. So you just go down through there. And I just like to kind of go back and forth. You want to get it open up as much as you can. And then you just flip it over and open up the other side. Let's heat it up some more. Don't need this anymore. All you're trying to do is get this to where you go flatten it out. You just want everything flat. See? Get in the cross shape. And where you overlap where you overlap made that diamond shape in the middle. And it's kind of, you can see all the saw marks, so we'll hammer all that out. And again, it's already cold. But when they're small like that, they just get cold fast. Now we'll just start hammering it out. You can see it taking shape now at the bottom of the cross. Now this is too tall, so some people cut this off and just do the same thing as these sides and you just have a cross. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to neck this down at the top. You'll see as I forward it in, and then I'll turn that into a little loop to put a key ring on. The other side's smooth, and we'll just leave one side smooth and the other side textured. You can see we're starting putting the shoulder on it. I saved you a bunch of the back and forth. Just drawing this out. So I had to heat it and draw it out and heat it and draw it out. Put my touch mark on it. Get a little tighter than that, I think. It's all this fiddling that takes forever. Trying to bend this around a little. I wanted to hang on stuff, so I wanted to be as smooth as I can get it. But I'm going to do that with the wire wheel, get it slick. So that's pretty much it. Now I'll go wire wheel it, and then we'll put a little coating of some paste wax on it. Now if this is something you're going to eat with, like a fork or something, I'd put beeswax. This stuff here you don't want on something you're going to use for food, but this is just a keychain. This is Johnson's paste wax. You want it warm enough that it smokes and melts some, but not too much. This may be too much, but it'll cool off in the wax. Well, you get real wax that way. Drowned in the wax. Alright, tongs are too big. Some pliers, there we go. Let that cool off. It's got a nice color to it too. Put that key ring with it. Let's cool off. My touch mark on the back, texture on the front. And you can hang on to it. And every keys, pretty good size, I think. Anyway, hope you like it. Stick around for more, and y'all have a blessed day. Bye bye now.